So I'm now part of the Lily Gaddis based conservative. I'm now on that circuit now. I'm on my based conservative Lily Gaddis. The fatigue has become exhaustion arc. You know? Well, this happened at the Westwood Animal Hospital. Uh, and by the way, I had to double check, okay? Because the thing is, like, my cousin works at an animal hospital, and I don't want to incriminate any of his friends because I'm trying to have sex with them. So I wouldn't want to incriminate anybody that works there because then everybody that works there will hate me and I won't be able to, get my grind on with any of his with any because he's got a lot of female friends. He's got a ridiculous number of female friends. I don't want to piss him off. You know what I mean? So, anyways, it'd be a conflict of interest. But this is a different animal hospital. This is a completely different animal hospital, guys. So I do feel comfortable showing showing this fight to you. This is the fatigue has officially come to Tallahassee.
Oh, man. Oh, man. She beat her ass on her own shit. Oh, she called her nigga. She called her nigga.
Okay. So what I'm seeing here is when you go into the car to attack somebody, when you reach inside of somebody's car to attack them, you've committed a felony. So congratulations. And there was two people there. So from a self-defense perspective, if I got two people ganging up on me, my dog just barked. My dog gets spooked at night. Anyways, if I got two people ganging up on me, from a self-defense perspective, that really ups the ante and the level of force I can legally use to fight back, because it creates a reasonable fear of imminent bodily harm in my head. So you're actually committing a felony reaching into that vehicle. You can't be doing that. And from a self-defense perspective, let me tell you what the lady that got attacked did wrong, okay? First thing is, uh, if you're having an altercation with somebody in your vehicle, you need to either keep the doors locked or step out of the vehicle or drive away. I mean, that's one option, drive away. But even if you're trying to, be some even if you're not trying to be the bigger man and you're going back and forth with somebody, the problem with being in a vehicle is you're kind of a sitting duck. If the other person pulls out some type of ranged weapon, you're really a sitting duck. I just don't like it. I don't like going back and forth with somebody while I'm seated in a car. You know, and if possible, I'd like to drive to a position where I have the tactical advantage. You know what I mean? Or just like not go back and forth with that person at all. Um, but you need to keep your door locked and you got to keep your windows like at least cracked. And then if you're going to be doing that, you need to have like a weapon somewhere nearby, like pepper spray or something like that, because that situation can escalate into that type of altercation. Okay, would this woman have been justified in using a pepper ball gun um, to engage that person? Yeah, I think so. Would a pepper ball gun work at that range? You would have to use center axis relock. But yeah, I think you could have done something with the pepper ball gun at that range. I think OC spray would work good. Um, you know, I think a flashlight in the hand to hammer fist would have worked exceptionally well. And I think the level of force of hitting somebody in the head with a flashlight, cracking their skull open, is justified because it really looks like two people are trying to jump you and they're committing a felony by coming into your car. So, knowing the laws and stuff and knowing, like, hey, like these people can't do this, bro. No, people can't just reach into your car. So, if that woman had used a weapon or some level of force, I don't know if that would have qualified for lethal force because there's no weapon involved. But it looks like you have an accomplice. It looks like two people are trying to drag me out of my car. And so I can mess you up. Because I think you're trying to drag me out of my car and there's two people there. And you're using unlawful force against me while I'm in my conveyance. You see what I'm saying? And so knowing the law in situations like this is great because you can, you'll start to realize the level of force you can use in these situations might be higher than you think it is. You know, but that is the legal advantage you get. But from a tactical perspective, I don't like being seated while the other person is standing. The only real advantage you get is if you keep that car door locked, they can't really get to you, but then you could still put some type of aerosol weapon out the window like pepper spray, you know. But again, you got to think about like what are you getting out of this? What reason do you have to stay there? You know, you might be mad at the person because they did a fender bender on you or whatever, but is it really worth getting into an altercation where potentially old Jack Campbell at the state attorney's office, he likes to take. He's one of those prosecutors that likes to take bad people and turn them into victims. Victims. Well, I have victim fatigue. People that start stuff and then get a reaction and then they're victims. I got victim fatigue, man. But anyways, um, yeah. So just there's like a learning experience here. Keep the doors in your car locked. If you're going through it with like a verbal altercation with somebody, keep the door closed and the windows up, and then have some type of weapon ready. If you know that could escalate and they might try to reach into your vehicle to attack you, you 100% can defend yourself. And I think the best weapon to have in that situation is like a flashlight. Have like just a flashlight in your hand, something that's completely deniable that a jury wouldn't look at as a weapon, or that even cops wouldn't look at as a weapon. You know, that way, that's part of the reason I like flashlights, because you can have a flashlight in your hand. You know, you can have a flashlight in your hand and it's got these spiky things on the end of it. And like you having this in your hand is not brandishing a weapon. It's one of the reasons I really like flashlights for situations just like this. And then hammer fisting somebody with a flashlight in your hand with these spiky things is devastating. And situations where that level of force is justified is more common than a situation where like the firearm justification of force would be. Because firearms, the problem with firearms, and I've talked about this before, a firearm wouldn't have done this lady any good in this situation. You know? I mean, in theory, you could say there's two people there, so you feared for your life, but that's a harder case for an attorney to make than two people were trying to drag me out of my car, so I knocked one of their teeth out with a flashlight. Okay? And so, being the person that knocks somebody's teeth out with a flashlight, that's cool enough, okay? I don't really want to go to trial for no murder case. I'll just be the guy that took somebody's tooth out with a flashlight. That's fine by me. That's fine by me. You attack me when I'm in my car, you'll lose a tooth. Maybe you'll lose 2 or 3 teeth, whatever. Um, and you'll get a scar that's shaped like this on your head. But anyways, that's my advice for that specific type of situation. Okay. And guys, just don't go back and forth with people that are in their car. Don't do it. You're not going to get anything out of it. It's just, I would just drive away. You know what I mean? And even if they got to get the insurance information or whatever, okay, drive to the other side of the parking lot and then contact the police. Make sure the police are there to stand by for the peace or whatever. You know what I mean? I would document if you're going back and forth. I would drive to the parking lot on the other side of the street. And that way, if they follow you to the other side of the street to attack you, the self-defense claim is even easier to justify. You got to think about how this is going to look in court. Always be mindful of that, guys. And so that's my advice on how you deal with this specific situation. See you guys in the next one. Jordan Jareb, signing off.